Hey guys, welcome back to JK Rants and Review. I'm John, this is Caleb, and today we're going to be talking about Child's Play 2, 1990.
My favorite of the Child's Play films.
I think it's almost everybody's favorite.
The music alone is enough to get you drawn in. It fits the idea of a killer doll. It's this carnival, yet kooky, yet 90s colorful music that's just, it's not creepy outside of this context, but in this context, it just makes it that much more scary.
When it ramps up the character of Chucky, like the one-liners, you get more of him, which is he is the star.
He's officially the star. He's the key player of this franchise, and the one-liners. I feel like you get a couple in the first film, but this one he just delivers them nonstop, and they're all. I don't think any of them really miss very hard.
No.
Some fall flat, but there's nothing that you're like.
This really shows you like in the first one, there's a lot that he's a psychopath, but this one he just like now he's almost comfortable being Chucky.
It's almost like he knows that he's in this doll, so he's gonna make the best of it.
Right.
I mean, he still wants out. Like that's still the overall goal of the film.
Right. And in this one, it kind of hurts him a little bit because in the first one he was a little bit more sneaky. In this one, he's a little bit more broad daylight, a little bit more. To the school, and there's some other parts. Oh, when he's burying the doll, he's like outside yelling while he's burying the doll. I was like, dude, you're out in the open.
Yeah, he cares a little bit less about being sneaky, and this is the first time we see that. It's not so bad that it takes away from the film, like in some of the later movies. Seed of Chucky. Right. But it does take a minute to get used to, because you're like, why are you running across this field in broad daylight?
Right, and nobody saw you.
But nobody see that.
So it starts like the first, 20% of this movie talks about the fallout of
the first Child's Play.
Yeah. So they got the evil company who kind of reminds me of OCP from RoboCop.
Thank you. Yeah. I was thinking that the whole time I was watching it.
Yeah, I got the older white dude and his suit. Doesn't care anything but the bottom line.
The board is what matters, or whatever, or stakeholders.
And you got that little weasel guy there. And anyway, they're rebuilding
him. We got you a doll.
Right. They rebuild Chucky so that way they can check out his circuit boards and stuff and make sure he wasn't actually saying anything weird.
Maybe it was an employee who made the voice box go, I'm Charles Lee Ray.
Right, and they needed that to completely discredit Andy and his mom's story. Yeah. And because the police basically washed their hands of it. Because, they can't take a stance on Killer Doll.
How can you... Imagine being in charge of those officers and you're like, this story's going nowhere. I'm sorry.
Well, then, we got Chucky coming back to life and they insert the eyeballs, and that was a cool scene. But God, that teeth scraping, though.
When they're putting the doll together, they're scraping, the metal
just
of the skull. And then the teeth. Worst. Just you feel like you're in the chair yourself. And
they hang on to that way too long. And they're like, you didn't like it the first time? Here's
another one.
Oh, the hook. This time, and normally you're in the chair, you don't see it.
So it's not as bad.
Now you get to see it.
Yeah, now you're like,
it's terrible.
Maybe we'll review The Dentist one day.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll make it.
I've never seen it. I'll give it a shot.
Oh,
I'll give it a shot.
One of the things that gets me in this, bringing Chucky back to life scene is the electrocution.
Yeah.
It's the first time that I can say I see something that looks bad, just because it looks super 90s. I mean, it's
91, 1991.
It's fine.
Yeah, but you go through that, and then you got Andy getting foster care.
Yep.
And then Chucky gets out, kills the little weasel guy, the assistant, and then he calls up
the social services or whoever was in charge of making sure Andy got into a foster home.
Right.
And it was a different time, because him just saying, I'm his Uncle Charles, gets him an address. I don't know how that works, because I don't think that's a thing at all.
And he gets and then right away it's setting up some stereotypes. You got the dad who's a jerk, you got the mom who's really lovey-dovey. But there's some good drama there.
One character.
It fits great. It's
the sister, the foster sister,
Kyle
is
fantastic.
My favorite Child's Play character
out of every.
I don't care.
Of ours.
Yeah, besides Chucky, she is the strongest. I mean, you watch her go through so much development in this film alone that she almost feels this Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like she has a little bit of connections to some of the heroes from there.
Yeah. Yeah, love her haircut, love her attitude, love she's self-dependent,
she's
trying
totally
to teach
a stereotype, like the rock music, the smoking, the all black. But at the same time,
that's what you probably would be. I mean,
yeah, I was.
I was a good kid.
So sad. But yeah, no.
And then we replay the same thing where nobody believes Andy, and Chucky makes his way back in and destroys the other doll, and that's where we were saying he's outside laughing.
Yeah, and this is absolutely kind of wild that he's just beating the hell out of this doll, and
of course it's with the one statue that the dad told Andy to be careful with because it belonged to grandmother's and was passed down. And then poor Andy's like, "Well, who are you going to give it to?"
Break it.
Well, he's like, "Who are you going to give it to?" And we find out later that she can't have kids. And that's. I mean, there's a lot of good backstory to these characters that gives them a lot of heart, especially like Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And this movie takes off quick though.
It really, it's just like the first one. He doesn't have time because he's got to get his soul out of the doll.
Yeah, and he's like, he kind of gives the exposition of what's happening. He's like, I'm turning human again. And it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth. You're like, I get it. I saw the first one. But it's not.
But it's fresh enough after the first one. If you're watching these in a row for the first time, you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You haven't overdone it yet.
Yeah.
Till we get to 3. But anyway, so then we'll skip to the scene in the school where he writes on Andy's page, and the teacher has him stay after. And
this scene haunted my childhood, because it was no longer he's invading your home; it's he's invading the schoolroom. And when I was a kid, I mean, didn't everybody's classroom almost kind of resemble that room? Just a little, And so you're looking around the classroom too, and just. Whoa.
Right, and then he's stuck she throws the doll in the
closet.
In the closet, yeah, and he's shaking it, and she thinks Andy's in there, and that tension and the music is fantastic.
Oh,
and then when he comes out with that, I don't even know, air pump thing,
it's a bicycle or ball pump, and just hits her in the chest.
And then he's got you can't see it probably, but he's got the ruler. The NECA toy comes with the ruler, and he's just smacking it against his hand. You just see the ruler coming from the window.
How long do you think it took to kill her with a yardstick? By the way, I just want to know. Because, man...
It must have been an industrial ruler.
Yeah. It must have had one of those, sharp edges,
That's one of the most iconic scenes in all the movies when he comes out with that ruler.
Because he's got
and it's a good guy ruler, isn't it? I believe it is.
Probably.
It says good guy on it.
The way his face is structured for this scene, the animatronics, it makes it look that much more intense. It was so well done.
Right. And then, I mean, there's some good scenes you got the how's it hanging, Phil, when he's walking down the steps and he gets him.
Yeah, that was
after Andy's got that electric knife.
Yeah, I was laughing hysterically because I totally forgot about that. I rewatched it just a few days ago,
and the snap was good.
Oh yeah, Chucky's one-liners hit in this movie.
They do, and that was a lot of tension building again with Andy walking around in there because Andy's not much bigger than him and it's very vulnerable, and so that was really done. Then the cops come, and then the mom, who's very lovey-dovey, that wants nothing to do with Andy anymore. And then social service comes and picks him back up.
Yep.
And then we get Kyle,
who's just kind of beside herself, taking a minute, smoking a cigarette on the swing set, like you do.
Right. And then when the camera pans in on her, that's the best shot of the entire movie. When she's from the swing, she looks.
Yeah, the Chucky doll was by the trash can.
She put it in the trash can,
Chucky was in the trash.
Stuck.
And then she's swinging, and she starts to kick up the fake-out Chucky doll, which is Tommy, that was originally in the house.
Right.
And this is where you get her full development. Right. And I'm just
the turn.
Yes, because at first she looks so scared. She's like, okay, I need to run. But then instead she goes, you know what? I'm going to stand up. I'm going to go get a knife. I'm going to hunt this little doll down.
Right, and then she finds out that Karen's mom's name? The Joanne. She finds out that Joanne has been already killed already. We missed that, which is kind of nice, though, because you think Chucky's coming for her, and then it shifts, and he's already killed the mom.
I will say, this is the first on-screen death in the series, I believe. The
off-screen?
Full off-screen, you didn't know,
Yeah, I think you're right.
They didn't hint to it until we got there. So
that was nice. It was shift, too. Yeah. They tried to do some, is Andy going for the knife? Is Chucky going for the knife? With that little, it doesn't show you the hand, and all of a sudden you see it's Andy. So there was some good ideas going with this movie. And then there's a good fight scene between her and Chucky. That's another. It's almost like the first movie, but it's really good.
Chucky locks her in a closet,
right? And then
and when they make it to the foster home,
Oh yeah, yeah.
The banter between Chucky and Kyle
in the car
could make a whole movie.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Like I was laughing the whole time. Yeah, I was just laughing the whole time.
Women drivers.
It was great. Like
and she is so tough.
Yeah, she's like
awesome.
She's like killer doll, just another Tuesday.
Right, like the cop pulls her over, and like, have you seen dolls that pee?
This one bleeds.
Yeah, that's a great line.
So we've got a nice little chase where, they already got pulled over, and Kyle and Chucky are on their way to the orphanage, if you will. And once they get there, the lady in charge there is like freaking out, trying to stop them. And then
this is pretty cool. If you see Chucky using her, he's got that knife that, like, the sharp pointed knife that like gets her in the back of the head. He's like forcing her to go forward. Like, I like that tension. He's had that knife on her the whole time.
Yeah, and then she's like, isn't she like explaining that the doll's real? And she's like, whatever, give me. And like Chucky turns around and just stabs her.
Right, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? It was great. It was awesome. That line and that tone, another haunting childhood memory for me.
Then Chucky locks her in the closet, and then they get out, and then she's chasing her, and then they end up at the best part of this entire movie, which is the toy store, which is super creepy for as bright as it is. And I mean, it's yellow boxes everywhere and great lighting everywhere.
It totally makes me feel like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's so bright.
Right.
But it's
on paper,
actually
I would have never
scary.
let that go through. Yeah, on paper, I would have never let that go through.
No,
most of the time, you kill the power in the first 3 seconds of any horror movie.
Yeah, and this was like, it was actually kind of haunting, because if you think about a factory just filled,
surrounded by your killer.
Like, so this 2-foot doll is trying to kill you, and literally the whole building, that's all it is.
There's like 10,000 of them.
And he's taking you on a trip through it.
Right.
Like, I mean, he's probably never remembered being there, but still.
Right.
Still.
Well, this is cool because now you see him knock out Andy and do the chant, and he's not there, and they have this moment where they're looking at each other like, who's who, and then Chucky realizes that he's still in the doll, and he gets upset, and he's like, all right, I'm
pissed.
If I'm stuck, you're going down.
Yeah, he's going to kill everything.
Right, and then Kyle knocks over the boxes and knocks him out, and then from there, Chucky's on it.
We get some of the best doll gore
yeah.
I have ever seen.
Right.
The knife hand.
Right, when he's running up that little like slider rolly thing, and that's some tension building
his hand
right
gets
there.
stuck, and he's pulling it out. Yeah. And you're just watching the skin tear, and you're like,
you can tell they made some money off the first movie and reinvested in the second movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then once he gets it off, he duct tapes it shut, but then takes this blade and shoves it in his stump.
Right. Well, he does that after he shoves it. I don't think the tape comes until after. But yeah, but watching that again, like first time I saw it, I was like, that's intense and looks cool. But I'm like, that would still hurt a lot every time you used it. Why would you stick the knife in the actual meat of the hand? I know the blade's short, but I think it would have been smarter to at least wrap it around your arm. Like,
it made for a super cool, painful shot. I think that's like Saw before Saw was popular.
Yeah. Well, then he kills the engineer dude. And this is my only problem with the movie, is that later on, the engineer dude or whatever guy he was there.
He's hanging.
He swings out of nowhere and knocks out Kyle. I'm like, you're telling me that Chucky picked up this 185-pound dude, however much he was, tied him by the ankles, got him up somewhere high, and swung him off. I'm like, no.
And did he do this one-handed?
Right, yeah. Yeah, he did, because he had one-handed by then. He was one-handed.
So, I mean, I'm with you on that. That makes sense. But at the same time, it did make for a shocking moment.
It did.
And it was a little Friday the 13th-esque. Like, we've seen it.
And Halloween, when they swing out at the last minute.
Yeah, just like, oh, dead body. Jason, why are you planting them?
Right, but then, so Chucky, he's doing his, like, sneaky thing when he's on the rollers, pretending like he's just another doll, which obviously he's not, because every other one is naked. But he swipes and misses. And then he gets knocked down, and then that staple gun thing comes. And I didn't realize it the last time I watched this, but it's actually getting him in the crotch multiple times. That's why they focus on his eyeballs, and he's like, ah! I love it now because I'm like,
I didn't notice it either. Bad. I actually made a note of that. Like when I was watching it, I was like, I never noticed that. Right. Now and then the hot plastic.
And he's dragging him up first.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you see the arms come in and shove in old things. Because this is like, for whatever reason, they have this option that's like mess everything up option.
Yeah, because that's what you want at your factory.
Right, and you just see them stabbing him over over again.
He comes out like one giant foot leg.
It's almost like Ghostface, like where like Ghostface gets beat up throughout the movie, and it's kind of funny for some reason. That's why. Anyway, but
at this time, I'm still kind of like, ow.
Oh goodness, yeah. And then he's missing his legs, but he doesn't stop
and
there.
He's on this little scooter.
He's on this little wheelie cart thing.
He's using his knife to move him faster.
Well, no, he's using his hand, but he's swiping with the knife.
Oh, yeah,
oh
yeah.
my goodness.
And then he makes it to this hot plastic.
Right underneath it.
Which, I mean, did he not look at his surroundings at all?
Right. Well, no, because he goes to kill Andy and gets stuck with his hand. And then Andy sees it, and that hand, when he grabs the handle, he's like, funk.
Yeah. He just like, power.
Right. And then you think he's done again, and Chucky comes back to life, and it's kind of a throwback to the first movie where Chucky was like charred and nasty. Now
this is all melty and gooey and freaky, bloody and
down to one eye again.
He reminded me of the dude from RoboCop, the dude that gets toxic wasted.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that again, another
Right.
I wonder.
Right.
Is there a relationship here?
Probably.
But Chucky doll totally looked like dude who got slimed in the first RoboCop. Like, I was just like... But
then they stick that tube in his mouth for whatever reason. He gets lockjaw. He must have, like when he shoved it, it must have gone all the way down or something.
Like, this was a little bit cheesy.
Right,
like,
and then his face blows up and...
Yeah.
That was good. That was good, though. It was good gore.
It was good, but it was totally cheesy.
Yeah, it was.
Completely cheesy.
But then they walk away, and then there's that carnival music again. As they leave, where do we go?
Again,
I don't know.
The soundtrack, just brilliant. It played. I think that is a huge reason why this plays into being my personal favorite Child's Play film. Is the music goes along so well, and there's forgivable cheesy.
Yeah.
Whereas the first film went full dark gritty, this film kind of still has that, but it also accepts the fact that it's about a killer doll.
Right, and you can tell that everybody's having fun with it again.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I'll give this movie. I'll give it an 8. I give it an 8. That's a solid 8. I mean, it's our favorite. This is the first. I forgot to mention that this is the first Child's Play I ever saw, because I think this is my first horror movie. My brother was in college, and I was supposed to go hang out with him, but he was at basketball practice, and his girlfriend was like, well, hey, you want to go watch a movie? Sure. And she throws in Child's Play, and I think I was 10. And that's about the perfect age to watch a Child's Play movie, because there's some, I mean, obviously there's gore, but there's a little bit of cussing in it. And yeah, I think, and you're about that height where you're like, I think I could take him, but it'd be scary.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to fight him.
So shout out to Heidi. I'm gonna tag you in this, Heidi. Thank you for getting me into horror movies. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely I mean, it is a Child's Play movie, so I feel like giving a Child's Play movie a 10 is the bad idea, just in general. I'm gonna go along and say like an 8.5. Like, if it knew what it was, it held up.
Right, that's a solid 8. Yeah, I mean, it gets better every time I see it.
Yeah, I actually think I used to watch Bride of Chucky the most. After visiting this again, I think this will be my future, what I pop in the most for a Chucky movie.
All right, guys, so we're going to keep going on the Child's Play, so make sure and stay tuned. Make sure and hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can get some more R&R. Stick with us. Next time, JK out.